Hello again, everybody. It's Josh,
And Marichen.
and welcome back to the second episode of Collector's Confessional.
I know I'm super excited to be doing this podcast again. I think our first episode went really well, so I'm excited to see where this one goes.
I am excited to see where this one goes as well. We're currently sitting at 11 views, which is insane to me. Anybody that just checks this out means the world to me.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely wasn't expecting as many views with just being, one episode.
Exactly.
So definitely share this with all of your music loving buddies and
Hmm
let's see where it takes us.
exactly. Just a little bit of music news that's kind of been going around, and then I'll talk about life news as well. So there have been a bunch of concerts announced here recently. The most recent is Coheed and Cambria, which is kind of cool. Who else? We have Incubus and 311 who are coming. And then I have one definitely confirmed show, and that is I'm going to go see. I'm going to go to the Whitesnake show. That's Whitesnake, Night Ranger, and Sammy Hagar.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I won tickets.
No way. Oh my gosh.
I have the most insane luck. I've won tickets to that show. I've won tickets years ago to see Nine Inch Nails and Soundgarden. I've won tickets to In This Moment twice. Um, I won the gold PS4 from Taco Bell, which we can go into in just a second how insane that is. So I don't know
That's
if it's
super
like
cool.
gold circle seats because it's an amphitheater where they're playing. I don't know if it's going to be like those gold circle seats. I don't know exactly what seats I'm going to get, if it's going to be lawn seats, but I'm very excited. I thought it'd be, oh, that'd be a cool show to go see. And I put my name in. I'm like, I'm in the middle of what I'm doing for work, and they leave a voicemail, and I'm like, I see the caller ID, and I'm like, did I just win White State tickets?
Oh my gosh, no way. Like, I swear, none of our local radio stations give away any cool concert tickets. It's all like the stuff that your great 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 grandma listened to that like nobody listens to anymore.
I will say this: one of my favorite songs as a kid was Chubby Checker, "The Twist," and I actually got to see him perform. And
Well,
it
there
was
you go.
actually it was at an amusement park. So we have Busch Gardens here in Virginia, and it was part of their
Uh-huh.
free concert series. And we just happened to go that day, and he was performing. And what's funny is half, so there were some my age, mostly kids. They're like, "Who is this old man, and why is he talk? Why is he singing about twisting?"
Oh, that's sad. I mean, I do know that song. I remember that song as well. That makes me feel old.
It does, but what was funny is they were doing like twisting and all that. And there was this
Uh-huh.
cool old dude. He out twisted everybody. It was awesome.
Well, that's interesting.
Interesting stories from the concerts. But let me tell you how impossible the odds were to win that Taco Bell PS4. So, they always do those, win this every 15 minutes or so. So, there's a 15-minute window. And in that 15-minute window, there's a randomly generated time. My time was, and I still have the text message because I still can't believe it to this day. But my time was 12:21 on October 27th, 2015. So at 12:21, you had to have the code and be the first person to text in at that exact time that was randomly chosen.
Uh-huh.
Talk about catching lightning in a bottle.
Hey, yeah. Super lucky on that one.
Yeah. What else? I've seen so many good concerts just from free tickets. It's insane. Um, but we could talk about concerts in another episode. But there we have a main focus for today's episode. But how's life going for you?
Oh my gosh, so crazy and hectic. I am currently in the middle of an intercultural communication class
Mm-hmm.
that is just absolutely blowing my mind. It's insane. I've had to write so many essays for this class. Thank God it's almost over.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm currently planning a wedding, which is super exciting yet super
Yes.
stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, go and take my engagement pictures at the end of the month. So that's very exciting to look forward to.
Yay.
Finally going to have some pictures to make out some invitations and
Awesome.
send out to people.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I picked out my dress the other day, which was super fun. Everybody was watching the Super Bowl and complaining about who won or who lost, and I was picking out my wedding dress. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of sports, so whenever everyone was like, "That's Super Bowl Sunday," and I'm like, "I don't care. I'm not missing anything." Like, I have no important Super Bowl party to go to.
Right.
And, of course, you have work, which is like not fun at all. And then
Hmm.
I get to, come home and look forward to talking about music. So,
Exactly.
you know, everything's on the up and up.
That's awesome. For me, I started a new diet. I'm doing that intermittent fasting. Um, so some people say like 3 or 4, a couple of days a week. I'm doing it 5 days a week, and then on the weekends, I take time. And if you don't know what intermittent fasting is, for those who are listening, it's basically you don't eat for a set amount of hours, 16 hours, and then you're allowed to eat in an 8-hour window. So
Hmm.
mine just ended about a half hour ago. But I've done it for this is my second week, and while I do get hungry sometimes in the mornings, my so far the past couple of days I've not actually been that hungry. And at work, we got one of those Nespresso machines, and it's one of those pod machines where you just fill up a little bit of water, put a pod in there, and then you get your double shot of espresso. And that's what I've actually been drinking for coffee in the morning, and that actually has
Hmm.
been really helpful for me. So I have a double shot as soon as I get to work, with a little bit of that stevia, because that's natural sweetener and it won't trigger your insulin, from what I've read. So it'll actually not be like you're digesting food. The idea behind this is so that your body can focus on other things, and it's using your weight right now, like the fat that you have right now. I'll be honest, I'm really overweight and I'm trying to work on it. But the idea is that you use that fat to be kind of like the energy, and then you still get to eat. So it's not like your body is like, oh God, I'm not going to eat anymore. Oh goodness, sorry. Oh goodness, my body's not going to eat anymore. And no, you actually do get to eat. So um, doing with this, and me at least going back at least once a day to the gym, I'm trying to work to get back to my 3 days for cardio. I've lost a pound, which I'm really happy about.
That's good. I've heard a lot of people do that intermittent fasting. I've been searching of different diets and I literally just I don't even know which one to try. I know everyone's pushing to do the keto diet, but that keto diet is
No.
honestly like so
Mm,
bad for you. If
no.
you look up the long-term effects of that, it is not good
No.
in the slightest.
Yeah.
So, I would not really recommend doing the keto diet.
No.
Um, just honestly, I feel like a good balance of eating healthy
Yes.
and working out and getting exercise, just it makes your whole day a lot better. And I'm trying to work on that myself too,
Yep.
because I'm not gonna lie, I am a little overweight myself,
Hmm.
and I used to be like 116 pounds in high school,
Yeah.
and I've put on so much weight since high school. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So I'm trying to at least get back down to
Yeah.
like 150 maybe.
We can,
So
we can kind of maybe hold each other accountable or something. Just have a talk buddy through it. I mean, there's others that are, but it's always good to have that one person kind of keeping you level headed. So
yeah, that's very
I'm
true.
willing to be that person if you just want to like shoot a message like, hey, what are you doing with this or that? But with the intermittent fasting, I don't. I mean, I'm trying to eat a little bit better, but
Hmm.
I at least get to eat some of the same foods that I eat now. I'm trying to probably introduce a little more salad and a thing in there, and but this is not a diet, by the way. This is not a diet podcast. We're just kind of talking about life, but
Yeah,
um,
I'm definitely counting my calories
yeah,
more, and it's a good thing that I love fruits and vegetables anyway, because I always eat
yes,
those anyway. So
yes,
that's no issue for me. I've always ate pretty healthy. It's just I need to stop eating out
yeah,
mainly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the eating out. It's the convenience that, but you know what? You and I are both young, and that's this the perfect opportunity, perfect time to do that. So we
Exactly,
got
before I
plenty
get
of
old
healthy
and I
years ahead.
can't lose it all.
I'm not expecting to drop like that. I mean, I'm expecting it to be kind of a long-term thing. And
Yeah.
one of my favorite comedians, rest his soul, he passed away a couple of years ago. He 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 was an overweight comedian, but he talked about going to the gym, and he was talking about exercise programs, and the trainer was saying, the fat will just melt right off, just burn right off. He says, well, it better be a slow burner. There'll be a mushroom cloud over this gym.
Oh no.
So go for the slow burn, people.
Yeah, definitely. If you lose weight slower, it stays off more than if
Yes.
you like try and lose 20, 30 pounds in a week.
Yeah, that ain't healthy. But talking about healthy stuff, I'm not going to talk too much about this, but if you've been following Haley Williams, she is putting out some solo work this year. As of today, she's actually dropped the first half of what's going to be Petals for Armor, which comes out in May. She also did a whole bunch of pre-sales, and that leads to today's topic. We're going to be talking about basically ways to buy records, and the pros, cons, all the headaches we've had to deal with buying records. But I'm going to talk today because I did the pre-order, and there's a special edition 10-inch box set with 3 records in it. There's also a pink variant with Urban Outfitters. There is a black vinyl variant. So there's a lot out there, but I really wanted the box set because one of my regrets was back before I started collecting, back when there was the turmoil after the Farrah brothers initially had left, and we didn't know that Paramore was going to be a thing again. So they came out with a bunch of songs and called it the Singles Club. The Singles Club box set is my number one, well, actually my number 2 grail. Because right now I have buyer's remorse because the only way is to get it on the secondary market, and it's over $200 to get it. So I am trying to avoid any buyer's remorse from getting the special edition of this, because I knew it was going to be special right from when Simmer came out. And every single song that's come out so far has been interesting and unique, and that's all I'm really going to touch on until my lovely co-host gets a chance to take a listen.
I know, I feel like such a bad music nerd right now because
Ah.
I have not gotten to listen to anything. But I mean, I'm super excited to hear it and to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been debating on pre ordering it, but since we're going to be talking about pros and cons of pre ordering, I'll save that conversation for a little bit later of a date.
Yes, but yeah, we could go into the pre-orders thing. But here's what had happened. I had the box set in my carts, had everything, and I triple confirmed everything. Put the payment info in, and did that little captcha where it says, "Oh, are you a human being? Well, can you please click all the crosswalks?" So I go through all that. I click, and it says, "All right, your email's good. Your billing address is good. Your shipping address is good. Processing payment." And it
Mm-hmm.
spins and spins and spins and spins. And this is where I start to have the panic attack. So I try again, didn't work. Try again, didn't work. I knew I could try multiple times because it said order has not been confirmed, so they haven't even processed the payment yet.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 8 tries and 3 email addresses. And meanwhile, everybody else, I'm tweeting Haley on Twitter. I'm tweeting all my friends that gotten it. I've tweeted people who've gotten it. I said, "Did you guys have as much problems as I had?" Because I was worried about flippers. So, for example, way back yonder year, there was one record store day piece that I didn't get. It's the Lotus Flower. But I remember trying to get the half broken record, which you've seen on my Instagram page, and if you haven't
Mm-hmm.
followed us on Instagram, shame on you. We'll leave them in the description below. But I wanted it, and I had tried to get it online because my local record shop didn't have it, and I was like, okay, I know they'll have it online, and it was just a complete mess. The site kept crashing every time you even went to look at your cart. I was having flashbacks to that moment, like, oh, I'm not going to be getting this, even though there are 10,000 copies of it. So I know she wanted to do something kind of special and at least make a lot of them, but it took me 8 tries.
Hey, I mean, at least you got it at the end of the day. I'm
Yes.
still kind of deciding. I know I'm hopefully going to be able to listen to her songs either after we film this podcast or tomorrow at some point
Mm-hmm.
maybe over the weekend.
Yes.
And I'll hopefully get around to pre-ordering that. But I hate pre-ordering sometimes
Same.
because to me, one con of pre-ordering, and that goes with any album, is you never know if you're going to like it.
Exactly.
Just based off the two, three, however many singles they release, you don't know if you're going to like the entire album. And
Mm-hmm.
I have been burned pre-ordering albums that I'm like, oh, I love these two singles. I'm going to love this album. And then those are the only two songs worth of crap off the entire album.
Exactly.
That is one of the biggest cons I see when it comes to pre-ordering. Although a pro to that would be, I'm a big stan of the main. I
Mm-hmm.
love my 8123 family.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, I pre-order the main's records and I don't even think twice about it because I know they're going to be fantastic.
Exactly.
So I feel like there's a healthy balance
Yeah.
when you're really interested in a band and you know a band is going to put out some great stuff. I definitely think it's okay to pre-order, but sometimes
Mm.
it can just not be the greatest idea. So I usually try and wait till the album is out and I can listen to it before I buy it
Yeah.
instead of pre-ordering it and then not liking it and having wasted $30+ on a new record that I'm never going to listen to.
Yes, and then of course there's the shipping cost, and then oh, is it going to get lost in the mail, or this or that, or is the mail person going to fold it in half? There's a lot of cons to it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I have had a mail person actually like fold a record into my mailbox.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest I don't even know how this idiot worked for the post office. I mean, number one, it was the shipper's fault. Urban Outfitters did not ship the record very well. They shipped it in one of those like really flimsy plastic bag kind of mailers with no cardboard or anything in there. It was just the record. So it was a little bit of their fault. But when a record tries to fit inside of a mailbox and you feel the package isn't bending, don't force it in there because
Mm-hmm.
my record turned out to be a U. And then I had to go through this extremely long process of fighting with the post office and Urban Outfitters to get another copy of this record. So there are a lot of cons to ordering online in general, whether it's a pre order or just, any album from Amazon or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You always have the risk of it being damaged because of postal workers who don't care or somebody stealing it off your front porch, yada, yada, yada. There's just so
Yeah,
many mindless
just
things that can go into it. And like you said, you're paying $4+ for shipping most of the time. And you can go to your local record store and get it for the same price you can buy it online most of the time. So
I wish you could have seen my face when you described the package, because I'm trying to find this. There was a YouTube video for one guy that I always like to watch, and he was talking about Amazon packaging. And now
uh-huh.
I can't find it because for some reason in my inbox I'm getting a year ago. Oh, it's because it's trying to search inbox. That's what I'm. Because I want to quote him on this. But he had called out Amazon for some of their packaging. And it's like some of them are great, and then some of them are in that plastic package, and it's like really, because some of them actually
Yeah.
came damaged, and he had called. Okay, Dolph Van Dale. I'm going to give a shout out to Dolph Van Dale. Going to leave him his link down in the description below. He's one of the VC guys. He's really great, and he had basically said that he that get somebody out there who knows it. Don't get Bubba, because Bubba don't know how to pack records. And I had said that I had ordered something online. I ordered my best friend the newest Skillet album. He really likes Skillet. We both do. And I had said in the comments, I said, please don't give me Bubba, because Bubba doesn't know what he's doing. So you got definitely Bubba. I think we need to make that a hashtag. Hashtag Bubba.
Yeah. I mean, when we went to the post office, the lady goes, "Oh, that's not your usual mail carrier. That's just a sub." Your sub drivers should still know what they're doing. I
Yes.
mean, no matter if the package is like a plastic package, if it's not bending to fit in the mailbox, why would you try and force it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of common sense to me. And, I've never really had Amazon ship a bad package.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, when I get it from Amazon, I mean, it's in its own little box that you can tear open with inside a box. So, I mean, it's usually really protected. But I think Urban Outfitters has been the worst that I've ever ordered from because they don't
Mm-hmm.
really care about how their records get shipped out.
Yeah.
At least the ones that I've ordered, they never really come perfect. I've had some, thank God, where it's just like kind of nicked in the corner
Yep.
and it's not super bad because the record's not warped or anything. But that's definitely like a con to ordering anything
Yes.
online.
Yeah.
Although I do recommend Discogs if you really are into collecting and you can't find something. Discogs is really the way to go because a lot of those people on there are record collectors and know a lot about records and
Yes.
packaging records.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never had like a bad packaged record come from Discogs.
Yes. I also recommend Bull Moose.
Yes, I
Bull
love Bull
Bull
Moose.
Moose. Can we just share the love for Bull Moose? Chris and everybody up there, you all are awesome. They're a great record store. Not chain. They have a bunch of stores. They're locally owned, kind of not chain, but it's kind of like the bigger than mom and pop type of store. They know what they're doing when it comes to packaging records and getting them out to you. They also have loyalty points,
Mm-hmm.
and their pre-orders are probably the best that I have seen. Normally,
Yeah, no joke.
when you pre-order a record, your money is taken out like that. Bull
Mm-hmm.
Moose is different. Until they actually get it in their hands and are ready to print that label, they will not charge you. So
Yep.
if they get shafted, unfortunately, because the distribution people right now are really bad, which I can go into another conversation as well, because I have a pre-order. It's not on Bull Moose. I have a pre-order horror story here. It's not on Bull Moose, trust me. But their pre-order, you'll get it, and they'll only charge you when it ships. So if you don't have the money
Mm-hmm.
right now, you can still put in the payment, and if you know at the future date, then you can set aside the money, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I love Bull Moose. I've ordered several RSD records from Bull Moose that maybe
Yes.
haven't been in our store and they still have extra stock. And I always recommend them in my RSD related videos that
Yes.
I do on my own YouTube channel because I have used them countless times. And even my family members have gotten me music related things from Bull Moose for my birthday or Christmas or whatever because they know that's one of my number one go tos online.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like I said, and Discogs is a really great place as well. And there's a Reverb LP is the
Yes.
website. It's kind of like a Discogs. I've not really had any luck on there.
Mm-hmm.
I find it a little more complicated than Discogs, but I know a
Yes.
lot of people that have had a lot of good experiences.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing is you can't really physically see the copy unless you message the seller and ask for pictures.
Right.
So you never really know if their grading is going to be correct.
Yeah.
So you really have to trust people. And I've found those few sellers that I really like to buy from because I know their grading is true
Mm-hmm.
and I will buy from those. And I really kind of try not to venture because I have been burned on a few just because people don't know how to grade records.
We actually did a fun experiment with my YouTube channel, but I did want to say that Reverb LP is actually shutting down. Um, I,
Oh,
I
really?
don't have the date, but I am on the Facebook group for Matt over at Too Many Records, and we were talking about that they're shutting down, and a lot of people are sad because he was, yes, it was the con of the pictures, but you could find some hard to find stuff that wasn't on Discogs on there. So it's really kind of sad that some of these marketplaces are shutting down that are really good resources.
Yeah, I definitely think that Reverb LP was really cool. I've looked around on the website several times.
Mm-hmm.
I just, never really found anything that really struck my fancy per se.
Same.
But I mean, I've heard so many people say so many good things about it, including Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually where I heard about it from was Matt.
Yeah,
So,
Matt's a
you
cool
know,
guy. I actually bought from one of his Too Many Records. I bought TMR2. I pulled the trigger on one of the crowdfunding things that he's doing, and it's one of the best
Hmm.
sounding records in my collection.
I've not gotten any of them, but I mean, I figure they all sound fantastic. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to send you a video of it, but I bought the Vermilion Club one, and I am very glad I
ah,
did. It sounds awesome.
that's awesome. I really like, I have a hard time buying stuff online
Yeah,
because you never know how it's going to come to you. So I
yeah.
tend to go to my local record store more.
Hmm.
But I mean, ordering things online isn't bad either.
Yeah, we're just telling you cautionary tales of things. And speaking of cautionary tale, am I okay to go into my pre-order horror story?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I wish this was an actual video so we could put like something up like pre-order horror story. So it's a mini rant here, but I bull moose can grab from basically anywhere that's pressing if they get a chance to. That's what's great about them. And they can get some records from the dreaded SRC vinyl.
Oh, gosh.
You've heard of them, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, May of last year, there was supposed to be a pressing of Switchfoot's The Beautiful Letdown, and it was supposed to be on half clear, half blue vinyl. And I thought,
Hmm.
okay, I like a lot of the songs on there. And then I researched on Discogs because some of them are easy to find now. But I didn't. I was like, okay. At the time, I didn't know there was other pressings. So I'm like, I've already put the order in. I'm just going to wait and
Hmm.
wait and wait. May rolls around. Then June. Then July. Then August. It's starting to get into the time for Record Store Day. No word. Holidays roll by. Nothing. So then I messaged them a couple of times. They said, no, 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 it's coming out in January of this year. It's February already. That ain't gonna be pressed. But here's the kicker. They said that other things were getting pressed before it. Like it had no priority. And I'm like, really? With the way that the quality has gone down with some of these records with how much they're pumping out so quickly, you'd think they put a little fire under somebody's rear and get it done, but they didn't. Luckily I didn't get charged because that's bull moose. Yay. And I didn't have to
Uh
go through the hassle of pulling my teeth out and then yoinking my soul out of the tooth hole.
huh.
But that's there, and I'm gonna playfully say this because I don't blame this artist. But you know that Garth Brooks came out with those 3 box sets, correct?
Yes.
Do you know how many he sold?
I want to say a lot, but at the same time, I'm also like, how many people listen to freaking Garth Brooks?
They sold in pre-orders over 1 million.
Really?
And then he did extra surplus, so every Cracker Barrel in the country can get it, and every Dollar General can get it. And guess how many
No
records? Guess
way.
how many records were in each box set?
I know there's like, what, five, 4 or 5 in each
7.
box set? Oh, okay. There's more than what I thought.
So he
Wow.
had to press 7 million records. And
Oh,
here's my
gosh.
my Switchfoot that's only out of 250. Like, Garth, really? I get you want to be happy to your fans, and I'm sorry for the loud warning there, but I'm like I'm half triggered on this. I hate to use that terminology, but I'm just like, screw you, Garth. You literally made it so I could not have a record that I waited an entire year for.
So did you cancel the order and try and order it somewhere else?
That pressing never happened because it was SRC's exclusive pressing.
Okay. I gotcha.
But I can get an earlier pressing, a different variant pressing on Discogs for pretty cheap. But after this had happened, I'm kind of like disenchanted from the whole album now, to be honest.
That's understandable. I have a pre-order horror story of sorts that happened recently.
Go for it.
Um, I've ordered several records online. I've always had good luck with the things I've pre-ordered. And this is no shade to this artist. I do not think it is this artist's fault in
Right.
any way, shape, form, or fashion. Uh, but you guys know I'm a huge fan of rock and pop music. But recently, I've been getting into the rap and hip hop genre, and I have
Mm-hmm.
fallen in love with MGK. So I
Okay.
know there's a lot of shit and shade going on around him, but I don't give two craps less. I have fallen in love with him. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're a fan of MGK, you know he come out with an album called Hotel Diablo last year.
Yes.
And it is a fantastic record. It come out in July. So since I had pre-ordered this record, I got the digital download.
Right.
The record was originally scheduled to come out like later in the year, like a couple months after
Right.
the actual album release, which I understand,
Of
like
course.
manufacturers are getting full and, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had actually placed two orders. One whenever the album kind of like first surfaced. So I pre ordered the vinyl copy
Mm-hmm.
and a long sleeve shirt. And I've actually worn it in several videos
Yes.
later, like I can't remember if it was right before the release of the album or right after, somewhere right around that release time, he released signed copies of his CDs and albums on his website.
Right.
Also released a few more merch items. So I, being the idiot I am, was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I have to order a signed copy of the album. So
Yeah.
I go on there, I order a signed copy, and he actually come out with another purple tie-dye shirt that I was really obsessed with.
Yes.
Ordered those, and it felt like the days kept getting pushed back. First it was going to be there in August, then it was going to be there in October, and then November. And like October come and it was finally kind of starting to get processed. People were
Mm-hmm.
starting to get their orders.
Right.
My first order shipped out and I was like, yes, finally. It took 2.5 weeks for it to get here from Virginia, and I live in Kentucky. Let's put that in perspective for a moment.
No, no shade on
But
my state.
yeah, I know, but it's just we're relatively close,
Yes.
so I don't know what was happening there, but finally I got that one, and I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for my other package to ship.
Right.
I knew that he had signed the albums. He did like a little Instagram video of him signing stuff.
Right.
So I was like, what is taking so long for these signed ones to come out? And I kept asking like for weeks and weeks and weeks if there was any update. And eventually it got to where I couldn't even check the status of my order. And so I
Wow.
contacted the merch company and I was like, hey, I can't check anything about my order. Like, it doesn't show any information about what I've ordered. It just comes up to like this generic page where you have like all the artists, you supply. Oh, well, we're sorry. We'll ship it out as soon as we can. It's been a month since I got my package and I'm still waiting on the second package.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do you even have the stuff in stock? So I start like looking up things about this merch company, and I can't even remember the name of the company. I think it was Music Today, I think was
Okay.
the company. And I started looking up all these things about them, and everyone was talking about how awful their shipping is and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I go back and I'm like, hey, you know what? This is an $80 order. Just refund me my money. I already have a copy of the record anyway. I don't
Yeah.
need another one. This was just something I wanted because it was signed. So I told him, give me my money back. No problem getting my money back, by the way. That was a really easy process. Within 10 minutes, my PayPal was like, oh, hey, here's your refund.
Okay.
So that was really easy. But it just was really frustrating
Yeah.
because then, like a week after I canceled that order, I started seeing people get their signed stuff. And I was like, I was so upset because nobody could give me any information the entire time. Like, oh, your item's just back ordered, we don't know when it'll get here, your item's not in stock, just generic answers. Nobody could give me an answer on anything, and that really frustrated me. So I was really frustrated at that point. And come to find out, around this time he actually switched to Manhead merch, so his merch isn't even with Music Today anymore. And I was really, really just
Wow.
frustrated with the whole process. And out of all the things I've pre-ordered and ordered online, for one thing like that to happen, it was just kind of, I guess it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
So
And I agree. It's not on the artist. It's on the merch company.
Yeah,
It's
and I think he even realized it because, right around that time, he really did switch merch company. So,
yeah.
he has an entirely new website, and
Yes.
I've not ordered anything from that. So I don't know if it's better,
Yeah.
like with the shipping and everything, but, I assume it has to be.
I'll tell you, somebody I had a decent order time with was not Urban Outfitters. No, they suck. Newberry Comics. Newberry
I've never
Comics.
ordered anything from there.
Uh, so Lindsay Sterling's newest album, Artemis, had come out. I didn't even realize it had come out. So I had been just kind of looking online because I was looking for something to. I had some money allocated, and I was going to treat myself to Switchfoot's The Beautiful Letdown, which actually lived up to its name. Hooray!
Uh,
But I saw that there was signed copies of her album, and it was out of only 100. Now the pressing wasn't out of 100, but there was only going to be 100 signed copies. And what had
mm-hmm.
happened is, not only did you get the record, but you got an extra sleeve that was signed by her.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So it's hanging on my wall, in my media room underneath the TV that I mounted recently, which was a show and a half.
Oh,
but,
hey.
but it's up there, and now I have it up on my wall, and I actually have my play copy, and then I can actually look and see, hey, this is signed.
Yeah. I have a few Newberry Comics exclusives that I've gotten off of eBay, actually, because I found them cheaper on eBay than I did on their website. And, they were brand new, sealed, nothing wrong with them.
So, yeah.
Although I don't recommend shopping on eBay. I did that a lot when I first started collecting.
Yeah.
And, eBay, those people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to records.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a new record, I'm, more okay with it than if it's something used, because most of those people will sell you a hunk of junk.
I was doing one of the. I was for a while looking on the Let Go app for the fun of it, and there's a dude that had a Michael Jackson picture disc that he was asking for like $40. He had his paws all over it.
Oh.
And it was a picture disc too.
No.
I'm like, don't touch the play area, you noob.
Jeez. I've used Depop and Mercari some with getting some records.
Mercari, I've heard
but
of. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of along the same, basis, like, used stuff for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And, I found, like, some really rare stuff on there that people don't want an arm and a leg for.
Yeah.
But, again, you're also compromising quality because not all of these people really know about records.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just, like, music stands that, oh, I'm no longer a fan of this person, or I need cash, so I'm going to sell this. And, they don't really know how to take care of things. So you've always kind of got to be careful with where you buy things.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You always want to buy from a collector. My number one holy grail, or as they call the white whale, is Tonight Alive's The Other Side. There's only 500 copies pressed. And last year there were 2 copies that sold, but they sold for $100 and $110, which is
wow.
right about what I'm willing to pay. Honestly, for that album, I'm okay with paying that, but I never have the money at the time. And every time I see it, I'm like, I'm sad. But at least I'm seeing it being sold, which means there are copies out there to be sold.
Yeah.
And the only place I've been able to find it is on eBay. There's one copy that floated around, but it was $229. I'm like, I love that album, but I'm not $229 loving that album. If I'm going to pay that much, I'm going to get their first EP, which was on a set, three colored different variants of their first EP. I'd rather pay $200 for all 3 variants of the EP and get a play copy. Actually, get 4 copies, one of each color, and get a play copy, and pay that much than I would just for that one. I mean, I love that album to death, but I have a CD of it. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's how I feel with a lot of albums that get really expensive. If I have a CD copy of it, I can pop it in my CD player and play it. I mean, I can listen to it on Spotify, which I know record collectors are going to be like, digital music, oh my god, But, I mean, you can't always listen to your record player. No. You can't just whop it out of your back pocket.
No.
Let's be honest here.
No, No matter how many of those old cheesy '80s ads that have here's the portable record player. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
It's impossible. So
And it's
let's just
yeah,
get over it. We all listen to digital music in some form,
yeah, we
you
do.
know? So
It's gonna happen. So you know what? Screw it.
exactly. I mainly listen to like stuff like that on my way to work because I don't really have
hmm
a way to play my records and my car does not have a CD player. So I have no choice.
Yep.
But
um.
you can't take a record player everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Going off of what you said about I no longer support this artist. Um. There's a couple of artists I no longer support. I'm actually going to be taking one of the posters off the wall tonight after we're done here. Newfound Glory. I don't listen to them anymore because of Chad. To be honest, this is just personal, and I
mhm.
don't listen to Borns anymore. Um, I actually had the Amazon exclusive variant of Dopamine, but after the sexual allegations came out against him, I'm like I I kept reading on it, off and on to see if anything would come of it, and it's been quiet. And normally, I
Mhm.
like to give the benefit of the doubt of both parties because when this
Mhm.
comes out, I always believe the person that comes out with it, and then I hear the other side, and I actually want them to present both their sides, and especially if it goes to court and everything, I want to make sure that everybody gets their time. But I couldn't have it in my heart to listen anymore to Haley's ex-husband and this guy. So,
Yeah, I totally understand.
and this is a preview. Probably my video is going to be out by then. If not, then you'll see this in a future pickup video. I decided to do a trade. So I decided no matter what, if he gives me like $20 to just do a trade, I'm happy. So Martin, the wonderful owner of Vinyl Days Records, gave me a decent amount of money to spend, like $40, like to
Hey,
just
there
do a
you
trade.
go.
So I dumped off all my Newfound Glory stuff and Borns. Like I honestly didn't care even if I got $1 for them. And
Yeah.
plus, he's going to get his money back. And I told him at the end, I said, I hope these sell quick for you because these are a little bit kind of higher, not higher end, but a little bit more rarer of things. They're not like run of the mill, another Led Zeppelin pressing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you know what he said? He said, "Yeah, I wish I could just instant print money into the cash register."
Yeah, hey, I mean, stuff like that, like, especially if it's like a modern pop punk record, if I see something like that in my local record store,
hmm
I'm like, "Heck yeah!"
but
Like,
yeah,
sure.
and Pedals for Armor not directly references Chad, but it does reference him a little bit. I don't want to go into the whole situation because I was not part of it, and I don't want to comment on either side. But I just, as somebody who supports Haley, and as somebody who has been, I hate to use the word fan, because if you listen out of worship, it's you keep things with a grain of salt. But as someone who's been a supporter of her music and her, I just couldn't find it in my heart to hold that anymore.
Mhm.
But what I did get is two, and if you saw my Instagram post on this, I got two awesome records. So I got the picture disc for that was Record Store Day piece for Stand Up for Cancer, Ronnie James Dio and Friends.
Yes, Jared got that one, I believe,
That
this past
is, I
record store
love
day.
that because the B side is Dio live, and then the A side is Hailstorm, Anthrax, and Corey Taylor and a bunch of people covering Dio songs, which
Yeah, I
is
believe he got
awesome.
that.
I'm so happy I have this because every time I've seen it, I've always been like, I know I want this, but do I want another picture disc? No, I want this. And my heart of hearts, I put it down to look around, but in my heart of hearts, I knew I had to grab it. And then
Mhm.
I had checked the Pearl Jam section just because that's actually the first place I always check is Pearl Jam because I'm always looking for Eddie Vedder's Into the Wild.
Uh-huh.
They had Backspacer,
Oh, wow.
and I'm like, uh, I heard Matt in the back of my head again, Matt of Too Many Records.
Mhm.
I had heard him in the back of my head saying, "You better pick that up. You better pick that up."
Yeah, I've had that little voice in my head before too, like, "Oh, wow, I've not seen this. I have to get this."
Yep.
Even though I really don't need to get it. And what's good about a lot of record stores is if you're a regular
Yep.
and you go in a lot, you really get to know the people that work there and the owners,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more willing to set stuff aside for you. So if you
Yes.
can't pay for it then, you can come pick it up later when you have the money for it. I know our stores are
Yes.
really good
Yes.
about that. Um, but obviously you don't want to keep stuff there for like 3 and 4 years and never come pick it up. You obviously want to
Of
make it a
course.
timely
Of
manner
course.
kind of
Of
thing.
course.
Or if you sit back 5, pick one up every couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
But don't abuse the policy. But
No.
most
No.
record
No. No.
stores will definitely put things on hold for you if you see something, like if you see a grail that you really really want, but you're like, oh, I can't spend that money today. I've definitely done
We've
that.
been there. We've been
In
there. But every time I've gone, I've
Yeah,
always had a budget, and I've stuck to the budget. So I always
yeah.
tell myself, I have $30 to spend today. Let me go see what I can find, or this or that. My big budget days are obviously Record Store Day, which we'll do a dedicated episode for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm expecting the March, early March, for when the list to come out. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll keep you in the rumor mill. I have a couple of sites I always check. I'll keep you in the loop of the rumor mill. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so um, I love my
I'm
shop.
excited to see the list this year,
I am
but
too.
at the same time, I'm also kind of dreading it because, since I am planning a wedding, I'm not spending a lot on records.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's really
yeah.
tempting, especially when you see something that you're like, I have to have this. It's not going to be pressed ever again. Or,
Oh
it's
my
not going to be
god!
as special.
Oh my
Like, I
goodness!
get that little voice in my head,
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh, I need this. I need this.
it's like you need this. You need this
Mm-hmm.
bad. I usually spend about $100 on Record Store Day April and Record Store Day Black Friday. I spend about $70.
Yeah. I usually just try and set back some money and, buy
Yeah.
whatever I can get with whatever I have. I don't try to budget myself. I know that sounds really awful, but I do in some ways just
Mm-hmm.
kind of sit back what I can and
And
pick up
then,
what I can and decide what's more
yeah.
important to have, I guess.
And then,
Like the Alice Cooper releases,
yeah,
I am
yeah,
always
definitely.
down for those if I can find those.
And now you and I have resources in one another to keep an eye out on things, especially because I live
Exactly.
in an early time zone, earlier than you. I could say, hey, we have it. Let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always nice having buddies who can like scout you records
Mm-hmm.
and not charge you an arm and the leg,
You know what
to
I always
to get
do?
them.
My friend who lives up in New England, who recently we did our record exchange for our Christmas record exchange, which is late because we both had very, 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 very expensive Christmases. I got myself a Nintendo Switch. I bought for a bunch of people. We both
Mhm.
understand. I got him the Skillet record, and he wanted to get me the Taylor Swift's Lover. Uh, his Target didn't have it. Well, I said either A, you can buy it online and have my store pick it up and me be a pickup person, or you could send me the money. So he just sent me the money. But what I always do with mine is I tell you how much it is, and then I say, give me that, and then I usually just pay for the shipping. So I'm like,
Mhm.
give me enough money to make sure I have enough to cover that I could pay for, and I'll just ship it to you. Because normally I could do medium mail for like $5 or $6, and I always make sure it's like really bolstered because I have like all the good record mailers. I save all of them.
Yeah, I
So
try and
yeah,
save mine too.
I don't ask for like for extra money for it unless it's like I know you want the extra shipping. Are you gonna be willing to throw me a couple extra bucks to help with the extra shipping? But normally I'm
Mhm.
good about it. I just like, you know what? I'll pay for your shipping. Just give me the money to cover it. This is how much it is.
Yeah. Hey, I'm always up for that too. If anybody ever like needs anything in the VC, I'll try and pick it up
Yep.
and, scout it for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I
I'll
always try and be kind like that.
yeah, keep me in the loop with what you're looking for. What I'm looking for. We'll post our own want list videos, of course, but
And
we
I'm
might.
sure we'll make a podcast about it too.
Yeah, no, I think what was my old podcast. What we did was every year when the list came out, we actually read the full list in length and commented about a bunch of them. So our videos could be like abbreviated what we want, but we could probably do a whole just pull up the list on printed paper and then just talk about all the releases.
Yeah, definitely interested in that.
I think that might be a fun episode. That was actually one of my favorite episodes to record because, yes, we're just reading off a list, but this is the initial list because the
Hmm.
list is ever changing. So, reading off the initial list and getting those initial first impressions, that's always
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah, I always really like that.
I've always done my record store day survival guide, and that's always been one. And we did it every year with updated tips and tricks of the trade for going. So
Uh-huh.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, and I think that might actually be a fun idea for an episode. Is us going over the full list in full, talking
Hmm.
about what each section kind of means because it's in different sections, and then
Yes.
our thoughts overall on each section, what we're looking for, how to budget, day before, all that kind of fun stuff. I think that would be a really awesome episode.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that'd be really fun. You know, I know we talk a lot about our local record stores on here, but that really is your main source
It is.
for getting music.
It
As
is.
much as I like the convenience of ordering things online, it's just so much better if you just go and buy it in the store because you know what it looks like when you get there.
Yep.
You know the condition of it. You know you're not getting gypped for the price.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
And you're also supporting a local business, which is so big now. A lot of people say shop local, and it's really true. Shop local with
Yes.
everything you do.
Yes. As best you can. Yes.
I
And
say, like, some of the only cons I could really think of when it comes to buying things at your local record store is not every record store is going to have every album in the entire world. So they
exactly.
may not have something super specific that you're looking for, but they can always keep an eye out for that for
Mm-hmm.
you and call you when something like that comes in.
Yeah.
Um, another con is you have those annoying people in the record stores that just bug the crap out of you while you're there. I know I have several of those,
Yep.
and I could probably do just like a whole hour talking about pet peeves of people that come in the record stores, honestly.
Or record shop pet peeves because you're so spoiled at one store that they set such a high standard that you go to other stores and you're like,
Yeah, for sure. And I've actually I watched Matt from Too Many Records. He did a video on,
you mind
record store
reader.
pet
You are a mind
peeves.
reader.
Yeah. And I had was like, I should do a video like this about some of my pet peeves. I definitely agree with some of his pet peeves, but
Yep.
I also had a few other pet peeves that he didn't
Yeah,
mention.
and if you read my comment, I kind of aligned with what he had to say. So I think that
Yeah.
actually might be a good episode as well. We'll write that down as penciled in. I'm gonna actually have paper nearby me, so pet
Yeah. One of
peeves.
my biggest pet peeves that Matt didn't mention is when people stand right on top of you while you're looking at something.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know on record store day with most stores, it's kind of inevitable because they have the records kind of sitting around in certain areas and everyone's trying to
Yeah.
get to that area. So that I'm a little more understanding of. And, we have a small store
Yeah.
anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get, 50 people in there, you're kind of smushed anyway. But on a normal day,
Mm-hmm.
when, me and my fiance Jared go to the record store and there's, one or two other people in there, I cannot stand it when those other people in there have to just look over my shoulder and breathe down my neck at what I'm looking at.
That.
Like, do you want to look in this bin? Let me finish looking here,
Yep.
and then you
Yep.
can look
Yep.
here.
Yep. Uh.
I
What?
just think it is, I need my own little personal bubble. It's just so rude, you
Yeah. It
know?
is. It is. Luckily, I've never
It,
had that happen in my store.
I mean, and it's these old guys that think they own the store, that think I'm there. A lot of old people look at me like, oh, she's one of those hipster people. She's just here to look cool. She's not actually going to buy anything. She's just in the way or whatever. That is one of the downsides to being a 20-year-old who collects records,
Yeah. Yeah.
is that people write you off a lot. But,
Yeah.
they'll come in there and they'll be like, can I look there? Yeah, whenever I get done.
Yeah.
Excuse you. I was here before you.
What's the beef, Gramps?
I know. And then on the other hand, you have all of these young kids who are, my age that come in there and they're giggling and laughing and they just pull up random records. Hee 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 hee. I'm so cool. Take my picture. I'm gonna put this on Instagram.
Like
And like
Instagram.
and then, they put it down and they walk out and they don't do anything. And it's
It,
like, okay, what was the point in that?
gotta do it for the gram. Gotta get it for the followers. Hashtag followers. Hashtag old
Like,
stuff.
right, I know, and it blows my mind at the extremes of people that you have that come in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's just, there's so many pet peeves that I can think of, not having things organized and
Yeah, or I try my best to put everything back where I found it, or at least in the same
yes.
bin. I always do that. Even if I have something, I walk back to the bin, I try to, go back and be like, okay, boom, it's right there. Luckily, with
Yeah.
my shop, when you do record store day, it's nice and laid out. And what I've always done, and this is my quick tip before we actually do the episode, is I talk to the people in line with me. The
Mhm.
person in front of me, I said, hey, is there anything you're looking for? Turned out he wanted something halfway across on the other side of the store, and I wanted something that was right by him. I said, hey, do you see this? It was the Transformers Dark of the Moon soundtrack.
Mhm.
Martin had only gotten one copy in. Now, it was a Record Store Day first release, and we'll do terminology when we get there. But you know what Record Store Day first is.
Mhm.
It's going to be released in another medium at some point. But that is the only way to get Monster on wax other than paying $200 for the Singles Club box set. I had to have it.
Uh-huh.
And it was just one copy, and I was like debating getting it. Yes, no, yes, no. I'm so glad I got it. It's one of the best soundtracks out there. It has Linkin Park, it has Paramore, it has Mastodon, it has Art of Dying. It is one of the best soundtracks ever, in my opinion. So he grabs that for me, I grab that for him, and we just do a quick trade, and everybody's happy. Like,
Yeah.
talk to the people in line, because that way you can help. If you see something they're looking for, you can be like, hey, it's over there. So when you go in, go over here. Martin has everything laid out so wonderfully well. And if you
Mhm.
ask him where things are, he'll point it out. So then that was the first experience I had where um, I it was just so nice to talk to somebody in line, and he was getting like the not the baby shark, it was the pajama kids one, because it was for his kids. So it was nice to hear what some other people were kind of getting, so then that way you could help each other out, and then everybody's happy. And what I love about my shop is everybody gets a number, nobody pushes or shoves, everybody
Mhm.
helps one another out, and you're in and out quickly. I
Yes.
and I love, honestly, like you said, supporting your local shop. One of my favorite things. I don't go often because I know I spend way too much money, but the feeling I get driving up to my local record shop, not knowing what's going to be there, that
Mhm.
excitement is my favorite feeling in the world, because
Exactly.
I'm
Looking through
going
the
to.
bins, never knowing what you're gonna find, and then you gem that
Yes.
you've been searching
Yeah.
for, and it just makes you so happy.
Like, I found a copy of Broken Bell's self titled album. I had only heard the first song and forgotten about it, and I had found it in the bin, and I was like, "This got pressed? What?" And I grabbed it right there.
Mhm.
And
I've definitely had
it's
those moments.
awesome, and it's such a good album too. And honestly, it's in the best of the decade from last decade. It's a really good album, and I'm just so glad that I found it. And you never know what you're gonna find, but it's just that
Mhm.
excitement of going there and just parking and walking up, saying hey to whoever the teller is, and be like, "Hey, how have you been?" And you talk for like 5 minutes, and then you go look in their.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world, and that's one reason why I love collecting so much, is just that feeling of community.
Yes, for sure. I love the community of people, and especially at my local record store, they walk in, and especially if you're a regular in the store, they know you by name. They know who
Yes.
you are, they know what you
Mm-hmm.
like. The owner pays so much attention to
Yes.
what I like that he'll tell me, "Hey, I've got this in if you don't have it and you're looking for it
Yeah.
because I know you like things related to this." I mean, and he is like so cool about stuff like that. Like the fact that I mean, in a town of 20,000 or more people,
Mm-hmm.
he remembers what one person likes, you
Yes.
know? And it's crazy that he can do that for all of his regulars.
Yes.
And it makes you feel really special
It
and
does.
valued.
I have two regular stories to go off of. So one time, I'd happened to hop in just to look. Martin says, "Hey, I just bought this entire collection. You get first dibs to look in there before I even put it on the floor." It was that moment of, oh.
Oh yeah. I've had that happen before too. He'll get in something and he'll be like, "Hey, there's this stack of stuff. I've not went through it yet, but you guys can look through it." And me and Jared will always go through them.
Yep. That's how I got my copy of Ozzy Osbourne's The Ultimate Sin. And it is a promo stamped copy.
Oh,
I
nice.
had been wanting this album for a very long time because Shot in the Dark is my favorite Ozzy song. And let me tell you, whoever had this before me kept it in beautiful condition. And I got it for like 15 bucks. It
Oh,
was
that's awesome.
it was awesome. He cuts me down. And then he taught I love picture discs. I wholeheartedly like picture discs. I don't buy them that often, but when I find a very special picture disc like the Dio picture disc, I have
Hmm.
Man Who Sold the World on picture disc. I have one Five Finger Death Punch record. It's got your six, and that's on two picture discs. And I also have one Bowie 7-inch picture disc, and I have Lindsey Sterling on a 7-inch picture disc, and I have Echo Smith's Cool Kids on a picture disc. The Cool Kids is my favorite picture disc because of how awesome it sounds. But he got a whole shipment of picture discs, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll be in Saturday, and the the owner tags me on Facebook and it says, "Yeah, I'll have to show you when you get in." And the minute I walk in, he said, "Hey, man, let me show you where the picture discs are."
Uh-huh.
It's
Hey.
those moments of feeling special, and I've gone to that store for over 7 years. I talked about this in the last episode, but they were literally just the main room I go to is the metal room, and then I moved to the rock room. But it was just when
Hmm.
he had the rock room, and that was all he had, and there was a barber shop beside him. I've been going to him since before he even expanded, and he continues to expand, and it makes me so happy because I've been going long enough that I've built this relationship, and it feels like I just started going there yesterday, to be honest.
Hmm. I definitely love going, and that's another pro to buying things in person than buying them online. You feel like a valued customer.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that, if you order off Discogs or whatever, that you're not making someone's day by buying a
No,
record, but,
no.
you know, it's just they can do things to help you out in person that, you can't get help with online. And, they can remember who you are and what you like and things like that instead of just, oh, they bought this one Clapton record this one time 5 years ago online on my Discog store.
Yeah,
And it's so nice whenever you walk in and you feel like a valued customer and like your contribution to the business actually matters.
yeah,
It just makes you want to go back even more often.
yeah. And what makes me happy is, when I traded those records in, he says, "I want to triple my money," and I'm like, "I want you to triple your money because I love this store so much, and I don't want you to close because I love that store so much." You know,
Yeah, that's the same way I feel like if you can get any type of money out of these, give me whatever you want and get whatever you think you can get
I
out of them.
honestly, I was trying to think he was going to give me more in cash, and I said, "I want to do this trade," and I wonder if there was like disconnect with the look on my face because Martin, if you're listening to this, I love your store. I was just trying to think, okay, if he gives me this, will he make money off of this? You know, I just I love this store so much, and I want you to do well. And I don't mind he's one of the higher end stores. He puts a little bit more than probably you would get on Discogs, but I'm willing to pay every single penny because there is so much quality every time I go that I'm willing to pay a little bit more of a premium price because it is done so well. Everybody who works there is just so awesome. I've gotten to know. I know a couple of guys by first name. There's still some that I only see every once in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
it's to the point where I get to know people. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I there are some new people that have started working at the one that I go to, so I don't really know a lot about them yet,
Mm-hmm.
but and I've not gotten on a first name basis with them just because I don't really know them well enough yet. But most of the ones that have been there for a while, I know on a first name
Yep.
basis, and they know what I like, and it's always super fun whenever they're like, "Hey man, how's it going? How have you been? Haven't seen you in a while."
Yep.
It just makes you feel even better about coming back, and it's like oh, I have really been missed, and
Yeah.
I've got a connection with people, and it's something special. Music can bring anyone together, and I really, really love
Yes.
that about. I mean, not necessarily just vinyl, but just music in general can
Yeah.
bring people together. So it's always really fun to get to talk to other people in the music community.
Yes, definitely. One of the guys, he's a musician. His name is Bennett Wales. He has a band called Bennett Wales and the Relief. I'll leave a link in the description below for them as well. He's a local musician. He just traveled to Nashville to play a big show out there. You
Oh,
know,
really?
yeah, and he just followed me on Instagram.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So and what's funny enough is my favorite DJ around here, who, um, just as a side note, I'm on a music server that's great. It has over 1,000 people. I'm going to leave a link down in the description. They're called The Scene. They're awesome, amazing people there. They love music just as much as we do. The reason I'm a shameless plug is because I'm a mod down there. But I am doing something that's inspired by her. So she used to be the only DJ for the only good rock station around here. I'm kidding. I love the big rock station, but it was an independent rock station that would play like Queensryche and Kiss stuff you don't get to hear on the radio that much, and B-side Def Leopards and stuff that you don't get to hear that much. Well, that station got shut down, and now it's sports talk radio. I'm like, great, I'm never gonna get
Uh,
this back. But what she did was every Friday it was Friday night. It was called Into the Pit, and it was a metal music showcase that it's not just it's radio friendly metal, of course, but it
mm-hmm.
was you actually got to request metal music for once. I'm talking about Opeth being actually played on a radio wave around here in the United States. Insomnium, King Diamond, Sabaton, Saxon, Dawkins, Manowar, all those good artists. So I am actually getting to host my own version of that. So, and there's a reason to this story. So, she inspires me by being awesome, and I'm doing that off of her. Her boyfriend is the drummer in Bennett's band.
Oh, that's so cool.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah, very. That's awesome.
And I told her actually on her Instagram that says, I've actually tried to go see a full band because he plays acoustic every record store day. I
Uh
told
huh.
her, every time that I've tried to go, something has come up. And she's like, you need to get out and see them. They're awesome. I'm like, I know, I keep trying, but every time there's something that comes up.
I
So,
know
for
you should have went
example,
to the Nashville show.
yeah, drop everything and drive from Virginia to Nashville in the middle of a week, in the busiest week of the month for me.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this week has just been so crazy for me too. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel really lucky because even though I live in a small town where there's not a lot of concerts, I am an hour and a half away from Louisville, Lexington, and Nashville.
Mm.
All three ways, an hour and a half tops.
Hmm.
So, any big city that a musician comes to around here, it's really convenient. It's not like I'm having to drive forever away. So, that is kind of the nice thing about living where I live.
Yeah, it is nice. I live in Virginia Beach. We actually have a nice amphitheater. People come here. We have Pharrell who does something in the water here. He actually got Foo Fighters to come.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can't pay for the $150+ 3-day admission ticket, but he got Foo Fighters to come to Virginia Beach and play on the beach. Like
That's really awesome.
that's hometown pride right there. And yes, Foo Fighters is on my bucket list, but I'm not even mad that I can't see them. He actually brought them here. And what's funny is last year was the inaugural Something in the Water, and Dave Grohl was in the
Mm-hmm.
city anyway because one of the artists that was there he supports by playing drums for her. So,
Uh-huh.
so who
That's
knows?
awesome.
Maybe we might be able to get Taylor Swift one year. If that happens,
Hey.
I will crap a brick. I will be like, I don't care. I will put 3 credit cards down. I will be down at the beach to see that show.
Hey, that's the way I felt about Motley Crue. I was like, I will do anything and everything to get these tickets.
Yeah, but
And it's
yeah.
just, it's so exciting to be able to go in June. I cannot wait
Yeah, so
to
I have
go.
my 2 concerts. I have the Lunatic Luau, and now I'm actually going to go see, basically the lead singer of my favorite Van Halen album. I love 5150. Sorry, people, I love Van Hagar. I don't care what you say. 5150 is my all time favorite Van Halen album, which I did have in my hand until I saw Backspacer and that other album. So,
And I am the complete opposite. I like David Lee Roth and I don't
fair
like
enough.
Sammy Hagar.
Fair enough, but you know what? We can respect each other's views. The reason being is Dreams was on the Power Rangers movie soundtrack, and when the credits came up, I was always like, oh, but it was my favorite track of the soundtrack.
Hmm.
And Dreams is one of my favorite Van Halen songs, and one of my favorite songs in general,
Hmm.
just because of the way he hits the notes and everything. That's one of my favorites. So I know he's probably not going to play that song. He's probably going to play another like more well known Van Halen song from when he was there. But I'm more excited to see freaking Whitesnake.
Yeah, hey, Whitesnake would be really
Yeah,
awesome to see.
and their Night Ranger is going to be opening for them, which I've seen them live. One of my free concerts, and I have their set list hanging in my record room.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was my very first set list I ever got, and then I got Diamante when I saw her in December. I got the set list. I think I talked about this last time, but yeah,
Hmm.
I'm really excited to go see this Whitesnake. Like that's the main pull for me. But the best thing is it's on a Saturday night. I ain't gotta go
Oh,
nowhere.
man. Ugh, I know, that's awesome. All the concerts that I want to go to happen in the middle of the week.
Why
Like,
though?
I know
Why?
the Motley Crue show in Nashville is on like a Monday night, I think. Monday or Tuesday
That's not
night.
too bad.
And I'm like, because then I'm gonna want to take off for the day after. And then
That's what I
the
would
show starts at like 4 because there's 4 bands. So I'm like, then I'm gonna want to take off that day too. Like, what the heck? So I'm
Why
already like,
though? Like I always see bands
uh,
I really like, and I'm like, why though?
like why can't concerts just be on Friday and Saturday nights?
Well,
I'm gonna
I
go
know
ahead and say it.
logistics and everything, but why not here on a Friday or Saturday? Because you come in Thursday, play Friday, you have Saturday off. I have a beach. You could rent a beach house down here. We have beaches in my town. You can enjoy the beach on a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like it would just be so much easier if bands all played on the weekends, but that's not how the world
No,
works.
that's not how the world works, and that's life, and that's where paid leave comes into play.
Yeah, I
Paid
know.
vacations.
I'm trying not to use up a lot of my paid
Right?
vacation
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
know
going to be
why.
going on a honeymoon soon,
Yeah,
so
I know why. So, and
so I'm
yeah,
going to have to kind of bite the bullet on those 2 days and just hope that I'll have enough for a week vacation.
yeah. Uh, we should have a couple of videos recorded by then, so your absence will be you get to enjoy a vacation, and then we'll actually have
Yeah.
content for y'all.
I hope so. It's not till December, so
Not
hopefully
that'll be
everything
plenty of
works
time.
out.
Well, the idea with December for me would be because of the holidays and everything, to actually
Hmm.
have some things ready to go. So then that way we can all just enjoy family time during the holidays, no matter what you celebrate and all that stuff. So,
For sure. And I'm getting married the first weekend in December on the 5th, so
ooh,
it works out super well for
yeah.
me.
But yeah, so well, by that point we'll kind of actually have a schedule, I think, going and a rhythm going, and then we'll make
Yeah.
sure to have content for everybody because this is a bi-weekly podcast every 2 weeks, released on a Saturday. This time we're actually doing it ahead of time, so we're not like same day release it
Yeah, I know. I felt like that was a little rushed. I felt like I just kind of rushed you a little bit over there,
No, it's fine. It's fine. It actually came out, and we got 11. You got 11 people listening, which is
which is awesome.
awesome. And if you're listening again, thank you so very much. But
Yeah, for coming
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Hopefully we didn't scare you off too bad in
No, hopefully
our
we
first
did.
episode.
So I think we're pretty much done here. To be honest, I don't have much more to say on the subject. To be honest, I think we've kind of covered everything. Unless you have something more to say.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job about our pros and cons and
Yeah.
discussing some other music fun along the way, and it's definitely
Yes,
been another enjoyable episode for me.
it has been. We will leave a link to all of our socials in the description below and the social for the podcast. We have just launched the Instagram. Please follow that, and the Twitter. That will get you updates. If you want to follow the both of us, again, I'm on Twitter. My lovely co host is on Twitter as well. I'm on Instagram. I need to follow you on Instagram. All the fun socials are down below. And I hate when, I try not to make walls of text down there in the description, but sometimes you have to put all the links down there. So all the
Yeah,
links
for
will be down
sure.
there. And I think we're ready to give our normal closings. Do you have any last words for our lovely listeners?
I just want to say thank you all if you've listened to this whole podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.
Absolutely. And if you liked this, give a like and go ahead and comment if you have any pros or cons. I hate to talk algorithm and likes, but it really actually does help. It lets us know that, yes, we're 11 views, we're just starting out, but the likes actually do help, especially if you want to get some new listeners going. For some reason, them YouTube algorithms are just wacky and wonky and all that stuff. So, you know, give it a like, give a comment. If you're not already subscribed and you like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be posting these bi-weekly to the best of our ability. We did 2 so far, and I don't think we're going to have any problems coming forward. But if there are any problems, we'll let you know on socials and all that. So keep an eye on the socials. That'll let you know what's going on. And as I always say at the end of everything I do, every video I make, every podcast I've been in, when the waters get rough, please keep on sailing. Even if you feel like no one else believes in you, I believe in you, and I know my co host is rooting for you. There's always someone rooting for you. Even if you're in your darkest time, and I've talked to recently to a couple of friends about mental health. Even if it's not necessarily working for you at this moment, just know that there's always somebody out there rooting for you, thinking the best of you, whether your mind is telling you that or not. I'm not claiming to be no expert on mental health, but I'm always rooting for you. I know probably my co-host wants to give you a few kind words.
Yeah, just keep sailing on and keep pushing on when the times get rough. And, there's always someone in your life that you can count on and rely on. So just
Yes.
really rely on those around you and, even us. So,
Yes. We believe in you. And thank you so much. And we will catch you next time on another Collector's Confessional. Stopping recording now.